I completely agree with you. And, well, at this point, I think there's no better segue than the segue of using one of the greatest gimmicks of all time to move to our second topic of discussion today, old gimmicks. I mean, old gimmick matches, rather. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I completely agree with you. And I feel like, one of the worst things that a company has done as far as, gimmick pay-per-views is TNA's Lockdown pay-per-view where every match was in a steel cage. Mm-hmm. Yes, and I will just say to avoid any backlash from any TNA fans who may be watching this, I also hated the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view that WWE does, but I hated Lockdown more because at least WWE didn't have every match in a Hell in a Cell. Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of that, I wanted to get your thoughts on some old gimmicks, or old gimmick matches that haven't really, that have really, been lost in time, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree with you, and I just want to, you bring up, the cage matches. I know that cage matches were a very prominent aspect of Texas back in the day for world class. Hmm. That's Yeah, that's a good point. Uh, as a fan of modern wrestling, I don't know how to refute your take on it. I kind of agree with you. Hmm. Well, I mean, I can say that I agree with you, and I mean, I would like to see, because I know Triple H is a old school booker in the aspect of if you look at NXT, it's more of the old school type of booking rather than the WWE style of booking. And I'd like to see more like, a loser leaves match where the guy may come back under a mask like, Dusty did in Florida and Tommy did in Georgia, Tommy Ridge, more of that type of thing rather than, the traditional, you know, same old booking that you get with Vince and, the same that, Jeff is doing now with, now that he's back with TNA, that type of thing because it's just different, and if TNA is not going to be the alternative, at least somebody can be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you're not alone in that aspect. I know a lot of people who feel the same way, but, I guess that just comes with, that it comes with, that's why it's good that, companies like a New Japan have survived, through, transition periods and, so it offers other alternatives to people rather than just having one or two companies that they can choose from. You know what I mean? Like, there's variety. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, to, slide back and, avoid anybody, commenting saying how you're talking like Jim Cornette saying how you miss the old school. uh, let's go back and I wanted to get your thoughts on a old gimmick that really doesn't see, it isn't seen anymore, and that's the fireball gimmick. Yeah.
You know, it's something you just don't see very much. But part of that is because you don't see anybody with any gimmick like that.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a couple of guys that do kind of a Middle Eastern gimmick, I guess, these days. So, they didn't get the kind of heat act guy.
I have to agree with you, and well, now I'm gonna throw out three names, and you tell me who you thought was the best at doing the fireball. Eddie Gilbert, Gary Hart, and Akbar. Hmm. Well, I'll take that as a tie then. Hmm. So you would say Ack was more believable, I guess? Oh, okay. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, I thought he was ribbing you. I thought somebody pulled you in and had you take it. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, at this point now, well, actually, um, I wanted to ask, cause I know it was not so much really big, but I know it was done in Memphis, the fireball. Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of fireball and the blinding angle, I guess you could call it. Were you in Memphis when they did the battery acid with Eric Embry? Oh, yeah. The Freebird hair cream. Yeah, Bill did it in Louisiana with Junkyard Dog, right? Yeah.
That's exactly what you want to do, right man, at the right time. If you're doing 2 months, then you kind of need to look back. If you're doing it at the right time and with the right guys and for the right reasons, then it's just another one of those tools where it's going to get you experience. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why Junkyard Dog eventually moved to WWE. Because, that feud with the Birds put him on the map.
Yeah, I don't know. Dog was just a charismatic guy. He just had that natural charisma. He wasn't one of the greatest wrestlers technically. He had a way of connecting with fans. He just stayed and he was athletic enough that he was believable. He just got over. When you're that way, the sky's the limit. He took it to the sky.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and it's it's always good looking back on people like the Dog and the Birds and stuff like that.
That certain guys that just have that natural thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That makes up a lot of efficiencies and maybe skill or other physical attributes as far as wrestling goes. If you understand how the psychology of the business and you have that charisma and just that natural connection with fans, then you go a long way with that without having the greatest skills in the world. Dog's a good example of that.
Mm-hmm.
He knew how to use what he had, and he did it well.
Mm-hmm.
It was exciting to be in the ring with a guy like that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, since we're talking about, the old school, as we often do, I just wanted to ask your opinion on, do you think, since you're still in the locker rooms, today, do you see a difference in, I know back in the day, to name somebody who always fell into that category, Blackjack Mulligan. Do you still see people as enforcers? Or do you not see that type of thing as much anymore?
Was the same, kind of stayed the same for periods of time. And, usually somebody will step up and be in that role and be the guy that they go to if there's a problem or issue or somebody needs to be talked to or whatever. You don't see that as much these days. I mean, there's always guys that have more experience and probably a little bit more respect than others. And if that's the case, then you still see a little degree of that, but it's not so much in the indies these days. You don't see that much.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it has to do with, people being worried that it could be construed as, bullying being an enforcer, or?
You can't always say anything or do anything to say without somebody taking offense to it, or turning it into something that maybe it isn't. I see that kind of thing, being talked about by different people all the time on Facebook, and they just don't understand that sometimes it's necessary to have somebody like that. And sometimes you got a guy in the business in the locker room or maybe in the crew or something that for some reason just doesn't seem to fit. Or maybe he is, talks a little too much or creates a situation where people are uncomfortable or whatever. And then if somebody says something to them, they're bullying you.
Yeah.
Which is, and I see that, I can name a couple of cases right now, and I don't even want to get into it. It's gotten to the point to where you can't say anything or do anything anymore without somebody microanalyzing it, or psychoanalyzing it, or making the assumption that it means one thing when it might not have meant that.
Yeah.
These people that get on the internet these days talk
Yeah.
They don't know those people.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about certain people these days that I know well, and they have no idea what they're really like. They don't know what the situation was that brought it to whatever it brought it to. It kind of, I want to say something about it, and I know if I say something about it, you're into that argument with them, and there's no way you can win. So, I just go, you're an idiot. Go on.
Um, I kind of want to ask you a question, but I don't want to get heat on you for your comments on it. So I'm just gonna leave it as broad as possible. I know you're a certain WWE announcer, a good friend of a certain WWE announcer who's been getting a lot of heat on him. Yeah.
Situations. Put pressure on certain people, interact with certain guys. Let me tell you this. It was never, and I guarantee you this is the way it is. It's not just a matter of John doing it or any other individual doing it. I guarantee you that there were more behind it than anybody knows. And probably more people behind it than anybody knows. Just happen to be the face of it that gets all the heat.
Yeah.
And that's probably the case in this situation. People just don't know, but they want to talk about it. They all of a sudden make these assumptions that a guy is a certain way because of this, because of that, but they don't know. I mean, I know John as well as anybody, and that's just not him. That's not the way he is. He's a stand-up guy, and he does have a lot of old school in him, but he's not a guy that just goes around pushing people around. It's just not like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened, whatever reasoning there is behind it, I guarantee you there's more to it than people are just assuming these days. That's really all I can say about it. But like I said, if you get into that argument with people on the internet or something, then they've already got their minds made up that it's this way, and no matter what you say or no matter what you know, no matter what your experiences are, doesn't mean anything to them. They've already made their minds up about it. So I just stay out of it.
Well, I just wanted to, maybe get a better idea of the type of person Bradshaw is. Do you think he knew that his coworker had the issues that he did? Or do you think he did not know? Yeah.
He's not a guy that just goes around pushing people around and bullying people for no reason whatsoever. That's not the way he is. But he is an old school guy, and he's a company guy. He's a guy that's been there a long time, and you don't stay in a company that long, you get in trouble.
Yeah.
21 years, I guess, because I think I actually took his. I'm the guy that actually took his stuff to WWE to introduce him to. I mean, they already knew kind of who he was and all that, but I'm the guy that went up there for him, and that was in 1996, I think, if I remember right. So he's been there
So you, well, you know what? I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get further into it. I just wanted to bring it up with you because I knew number one we were gonna talk, and number two I knew you were, or you are, one of Bradshaw's closest friends. So I figured that if anybody would be able to shed some positive light on JBL, that it would be you.
I've got a lot of positive things to say about John. I mean, tons of things. It's just the situation. I know the climate. I know the way the internet works. You get a lot of keyboard warriors out there. They're not afraid to say something behind their teeth. And they got all kinds of opinions, but they don't mean anything. They don't know what they're talking about. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying John's perfect, and I'm not saying he hadn't made mistakes. But that's just not the kind of person he really is.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Wikipedia. I mean, that was a deal that got out of hand, and he probably handled it the wrong way at the wrong time in the ring. But I know for a fact that both Brian and he are both friends of mine, and I know for a fact they both talked it out. They're both friendly now, and they're good with it. But a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
I keep seeing that brought up. Well, they don't know what the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
Go ask Brian what he thinks about John.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guarantee you, I know what he was saying. And it'll be positive.
Yeah.
That's me saying it. Everybody will say, well, you're his friend, and you're going to defend him no matter what. Well, go talk to Brian. See what he says.
Yeah.
I feel very confident about that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I can sit here and defend John and say all these good things about him that I know, and there's lots of good things. Very generous, does a lot of good work. He's just a good person, and regardless of what the internet says, and regardless of all these things that have happened to come up, and I know that if I go out and start arguing with somebody on the internet about it, it's just going to turn into one of those deals. It's just like arguing politics. You can't win. There's no way.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is.
Well, even though I did make a reference, not really, I basically said I refuse to comment on it until either John, WWE, or somebody comes out and says what really happened.
Well, that's the case with all these situations, and that's what everybody should do. But that's not the way things work these days. These days, everybody immediately assumes certain things and immediately has an opinion about it, whether they or not. And that's why I don't generally comment on those kinds of things.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get into political arguments on Facebook. I don't allow it.
Mm-hmm.
Very seldom will I ever say anything that has any kind of political implications at all. You start talking about that, religion, gun control, and all that kind of stuff. And all it does. I had a guy that I've known for, I don't know, 20-something years. I mean, not like buddies, but we knew each other. And in the business. And he got mad at another guy on my Facebook site. And arguing about gun control, and they got into an argument about it, and he unfriended me because he was arguing with another friend. It's stupid.
Yeah.
So I kind of stay away from those kinds of things and those kinds of comments, and I know that whoever's listening right now, they're going to go, blah 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 blah. He's your buddy, and you're going to defend no matter what he says. Well, excuse me, but I know it very well.
Yeah.
So if you know him better, then fine. You get your opinion. You say whatever you want to say, I guess. But that's the way things are these days.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I will praise Sports Illustrated because they put out an article on this, but they actually had some of the boys, I think Matt Stryker, and a few other guys, Alberto Del Rio, they commented on the situation, and in his defense, you're not the only one who defended John. Alberto also defended John, saying how John has always been good to him and spoke highly of his family and stuff like that. You know, and Matt talked about how it's the culture in wrestling. You know? Mm-hmm.
And like I said, most of the time when those things happen, there's something behind it that a lot of people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I didn't even bother. I figured it turned out to be some kind of stupid thing anyway. I don't know. I don't know the other guy or Ronaldo or Ronaldo, whatever his name is. I've started him announced a few times, and as far as I'm concerned, he did a good job announcing. But I don't know what he's like behind the scenes. I don't know what kind of personality he is, but I do know John. So I'm just I'm speaking from that point of view, or that standpoint, that knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. Well, to shift the subject and end on a more positive note, if you have any, appearances or any shows you want to build up that are coming up, feel free to take, I give you the floor. Yeah, I mean, after what you just said about John, I don't know if you want people to find you on Facebook. Well, for those of you who are watching or listening or however you're hearing this, thank you for joining us. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment, because feedback is always welcomed and appreciated. But if you don't want to leave a comment, you can always leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. And I'd like to thank my friend, James Beard, once again for joining me.